In this video, we will be seeing about the introduction to microeconomics, economics and concept of microeconomics. In this video, we will be seeing the definition of economics, what are micro and macroeconomics, evolution of economics from capitalism, socialism, mixed society, we will be seeing about the factors of production. Law of demand, law of supply. Market equilibrium. Types of goods. Elasticities of goods. Elasticities. Savings. Investment. Capital formation. First, we will be starting with what is economics. Economics is a science. The science that deals with the human behavior in relation with scarce means, with alternative use, and ends. So, economics is a study of human behavior when there is a scarce means and ends. The means which have alternate uses. This is the definition of economics. Now let us see about the features of different evolutions in capitalism, socialism, and mixed economy. Factors of production. In capitalism, it is private ownership, whereas in socialism, government will own the factors of production mixed by both. Role of government is minimal in capitalism, maximum in socialism. In mixed economy, there will be a conductive environment. Price determination of goods. Price determination. Market force will decide. In capitalism, Government will decide. In socialism, both government and market forces will decide. In mixed economy, competition. Competition is very high in case of capital economics, capital and low, almost absent in socialism, and high in mixed economy. Motives. It is profit motivated. Social welfare motivated. Both. Exploitation of factors of production. Is present in capitalism, is not seen in socialism, and in mixed economy it is not seen. Outcomes. In capitalism there will be social strata, increases income gap, thriving private sector, wages gap, wage gap, prominent role of public sector companies. In mixed economy, both prominence given to both public as well as private sectors. Now let us see the difference between micro and macroeconomics. Micro and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of individual units. Whereas macroeconomics, it is the study as whole. Deals with individual income, individual units, individual outputs, whereas macroeconomics deal with aggregates, national income, employment, etc. In microeconomics, the main tools are demand and supply. Macroeconomics tools are aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Now let us go to the next topic, factors of production. Factors of production, it is also called as FOP, refers to the different inputs that are required to produce and supply goods in economy. For goods production and supply in economy. The main four factors of production are land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Land, it includes minerals, land use for infrastructure, agricultural output. Capital, it includes machines, factories, roads, etc. So these are the inputs, different inputs that are required for producing and supplying goods in the economy. Now we will be seeing about an important topic called opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? When we compare our wants with that of the scarcity of the resources, wants are very high than that of the resources. Therefore, choices should be made. Choices should be made in allocating these resources to meet up certain wants. Therefore, opportunity cost, when you choose one, you forgo the other options available. When you choose one want, you should forgo other options. This is known as opportunity cost. Potential benefits returns forgone when one alternative is chosen over the other is called opportunity cost. So OC, how will you define it? Potential benefit or returns forgone when one alternative is chosen over other is known as opportunity cost. It is also defined as the value of the next value of next better best alternative. OC is equal to return on best option forgone, return on the option chosen. This is opportunity cost. Now let us go into another topic, law of demand. Law of demand depends on demand for a good depends on price of the commodity, price of related goods, income of the consumer, tastes and preferences. Now, entering the law of demand, if all other factors remain unchanged, the price of the price of the good lower the demand and vice versa holds true. Higher the price, lower the demand. So, when all other factors are kept constant, what are those factors? Price of the related goods, income of the consumer, tastes and preferences are kept constant. Then, if price is higher, it is inversely related to that of the demand. Lower is the demand. This is the law of demand. Now, drawing the graph, let us check the quantity of goods purchased, that is the demand, versus the price. When the price is very high, the quantity of demand is very low. Whereas if the price is very low, the quantity demanded is high when all other factors are kept constant. So this is law of demand. Now let us go to the next topic, that is the law of supply. Law of supply. Supply of a good depends on number one, price of the commodity, price of other goods, change in technology, change in cost of production, taxes, subsidies, transportation. So, supply depends on six factors mainly: price of the commodity, price of other commodity, change in technology, change in cost of production, tax and subsidies, transportation cost. Now, law of supply means if all other factors being equal, the price of the goods or services if increased price, the quantity of the goods and services that the supplier will offer will also increase. If all these are kept constant, when the price increases, supply will also increases. Now drawing the graph, this is the, in x-axis we will be marking the quantity, in the y-axis let us mark the price. When the price is low, the quantity of the goods produced is low, whereas if the price is high, the quantity of the goods produced by the supplier will increases with the price. This is known as law of supply. Now Let us see what is market equilibrium. We have two graphs now. Market equilibrium. So what is market equilibrium? Equilibrium is a point. It is the amount of consumers wants to buy a product, that is the quantity of demand at a certain price, demand at certain price. If this demand is equal to the amount producers wants to sell, amount producers wants to sell, that is the supply at certain price, at same price, certain same price. This point is known as law of market equilibrium. In equilibrium, demand is matched by the supply. Demand is matched by the supply. So from the above two graphs, one first graph and second graph, we can plot the both the graph in the same way. In x-axis we will be writing the quantity, and in y-axis we will be plotting the price. So we will first plot the law of demand. We know that when the prices are low, the quantity demanded is very high. When the prices are high, quantity demanded is very low. This is the law of demand curve. Now let us draw the law of supply curve. So at a point, both the consumers and the suppliers will agree the amount of consumers want to buy the product, that is the demand at certain price, at this price, demand at this price is equal to the supply by the producers. This point is known as market equilibrium. Oversupply will lead to oversupply of the product by the producer. If suppose the producer producing the product at this point, oversupply will leads to lowering of the prices, and lower supply leads to increase in prices. Now let us come to supply and demand curve. Supply and demand curve. The movement along the curve happens when the price of the commodity changes. Shift of the curve happens when there is a change in other parameters other than the price. Movement along the curve. First point is movement along the curve. This happens when all other factors except the price or same. All other factors except price. Price may change or the terms contraction for movement along the curve, we will be using contraction or expansion, we will be saying contraction or expansion. Second one is shift of the curve. This happens when there is a change in other parameters other than the price. Other than the price. For example, if the income of the consumer increases, income of consumer, this have an effect on demand. Lower income tax rates. This further has an effect on demand. We will be using now here we will be using the terms increase or decrease. Shift of the curve, we will be using increase or decrease. Now coming to the types of goods. Types of goods we will be classifying based on income as normal, inferior, goods. What are normal goods? The change in income will lead to change in demand. That is positive demand curve. Change in income of the consumer will lead to change in the demand. When a person is getting 1000 rupees as salary, he will consume rice for 200 rupees. Means if he is getting 1000 rupees, 200 rupees he is spending for one commodity. If his income is increased to 2000 rupees, then if he spend 400 rupees on the commodity, then these commodity are considered as normal commodities. That is income elasticity of the demand. Income elasticity. Of demand is positive. Now, what are inferior goods? They also change with income of the consumer. But they will be negatively changing. If a person's income is 1000 rupees per day and he spends rupees 200 on a particular good, if his income gets increased to 2000 rupees on the next day and he spent only 100 rupees on that product, then this income elasticity is income elasticity of demand is negative, and this goods is called inferior products. Now, types of goods based on the prices. Now let us see types of goods based on the prices. First one is given good. What is given good? Higher prices will lead to higher demand. This is the price, this is the quantity. Normally, when there is a price is higher, the demand is lower normally. But for these goods, higher prices will produce higher demand. What is the reason? It is because of income effect, generally limited to goods used by the poor. Then comes second one is Veblen goods. Higher price will lead to higher demand as there are associated with status of the buyer or consumer. Here also higher price and higher demand. Higher price and higher demand. But here it is because of the status to hold that product. High end luxury products, high end luxury products. What is snob effect? Snob effect generally assumed that higher cost means higher quality. Higher cost means higher quality. This is known as snob effect. Now let us classify the goods based on the utility to the society. Utility to the society. It is classified as merit and demerit goods. Merit goods, they are the essential healthcare, education related. These goods are provide benefit to the society. Government generally provides or subsidize in order to promote the consumption of the merit goods. Demerit goods, they create negative impact. In society, for example, alcohol, tobacco, etc. They government will impose taxation, more taxation on these type of goods. Type of goods based on the producer. Based on the producer, it is further classified into public goods, private goods. Public goods, non-rivalry. Consumption of these goods does not reduce the amount of available to others, or public goods. Non Excludable. People cannot be excluded from consumption of this. Defense, street light, law and order. These are the public goods. Private goods, excludable and rival. Rival in nature. Types of goods based on the economic flow. Based on the economic flow, it is classified as intermediate goods and finished goods. Intermediate goods are used further in productions. They are the raw materials. Part of supply chain. Or production process. Steel, aluminium, coal, etc. are these goods. Finished goods, they are available in the market for final consumers. Car, mobile phones, etc. Now let us see some more types of goods. What is a substitute good? Substitute goods, these are the goods which consumed individually satisfy a common want. It can be substituted. Demand is affected by the change in the price. For example, tea and coffee. This tea can be substituted with coffee. These both are different goods, but they can be interchanged, can be substituted. Demand is affected by the change in the price. If the tea's price is increased, coffee, the consumers will come to coffee. So demand is affected by the change in the price of any goods. Now, complementary goods. What are complementary goods? They are consumed in combination. Demand is affected by the change in the price of one good. If you buy a printer, you should also buy a printer ink. So this is called as complementary goods. If you buy a car, you should also buy a petrol. These are the complementary goods. Now let us come to another topic, elasticities. What is elasticity? Elasticity means the change in the demand. With the change in the variables. Change in demand as a function of various variables such as price, income, cross elasticity, and price elasticity of supply. Now first let us see about the PED, price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand measures the change in demand with the unit of change in the price of the product. Percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in the price. If PED is less than 1, it is inelastic. That is, they are the essential goods. If PED is equal to 1, it is unitary elastic. That means a unit change in price leads to unit change in demand. If 1 rupee change in price leads to demand change of 1 unit. If PED is greater than 1, if PED is greater than 1, then it is called elastic good. These are the luxurious good. Income elasticity of demand. What is income elasticity? We have seen price elasticity of demand. Now let us see income elasticity of demand. IED, it is the measure change in the demand for change in the income. If IED is less than 0, the good is called inferior good. If IED is greater than 0, the good is called normal good. Now we will be seeing the important law, Engel's law. Engel's law states that the proportionate expenditure on food, the proportionate expenditure on food falls as the income of the person increases. Even though the expenditure on food is increasing. If suppose for a day a person earns 1000 rupees and he is spending 100 rupees for food, that is the 10% of his income. Angel law states that if the income percentage is increased by 100%, that is, he is going to get 2000 rupees from tomorrow. He will spend, now the spend on the food is increased. He will spend 150 rupees maybe. That is, increases how much? From 100, it is 50% increase. That is, the percentage of increase in food spending is decreased as the income rises, although the actual expenditure on the food is increased. This is the Angel's law. The income elasticity for necessities lies between income elasticities for necessities, food items, lies between 0 and 1. Now let us see about cross elasticity of demand. Cross elasticity of demand. What is cross elasticity of demand? It measures the change in the demand of one product in the price of other product. So change in the price of other product causing the change in the demand of one product is known as cross elasticity demand, CED. With this we can classify, with CED we can classify complementary goods, unrelated goods and substitutes. When CED is less than 0, then it is called complementary goods. When CED is equal to 0, unrelated goods. When CED greater than 0, then they are the substitutes. Now let us see about the price elasticity of supply. Price elasticity of supply is measures the change in supply to change in the percentage of change in the price. If the price elasticity of supply is less than 1, then supply is inelastic. If PES is greater than 1, then the supply is elastic. Now let us see about the savings, investment and capital formation. Out of the total earnings made, the company economy uses a part of for its immediate consumption. So total earning, out of the total earnings, a part of it is used for immediate expenditure. The remaining part is used for future consumption. This is known as savings. Investment in an economy are done by internal sources or through external sources. Internal sources are the government, household, companies, etc. Whereas the external sources are the foreign direct investments. Capital refers to machines, tools, and equipments, etc. Addition to this over the period of time is known as capital formation. What is capital formation? Capital formation, capitals are the machines, tools, equipments. Addition to these over a period of time is known as capital formation. What is gross capital formation? Gross capital formation, it is further classified into GFCF, gross fixed capital formation, and stock. Gross fixed capital formation includes infrastructure such as buildings, machineries, transports, road, canals, etc. Stocks, they are the change in raw material. Inventories, finished or semi-finished. Goods, etc. So we have completed the mentioned topics. We have seen what is economics. We have also seen what is microeconomics and macroeconomics. We have seen the four factors of production. We have seen the difference between the capital, social, and mixed economy. We have seen the law of demand, law of supply, and market equilibrium, types of goods, elasticity, saving, investment, and capital formation. Thank you.